Welcome back to the Big Circle with your host. Welcome to the Big Circle. I'm sorry, I didn't know I had my 7th grade English teacher in here. Sorry,
Welcome
Derrick.
back would say with the episode just started, Ivy.
Welcome to the Big Circle with your host.
We started the first episode with a spit bubble. This one we're
So we're going from spit bubbles to correcting my grammar.
Yeah, no, it's not your grammar. You said welcome back when it's welcome to. We just started. This is episode 2.
Why does it matter?
Apparently it doesn't.
It doesn't now. There's no problem. Welcome to the Big Circle.
So that's how you used to handle things. It don't matter.
It don't matter. Now, that's a bare minimum of the way I used to handle things.
I don't know what happens on the first 30 to 45 seconds of the Big Circle, but it always looks like we just lost our minds for some reason.
Hey, we're human too. We're absolutely.
I'm Derrick Followell.
I forgot my name.
He's Ivy Herron Jr. And this is
Mallory Nelson.
Mallory Nelson. So this is part 2 of our before and after series with Mallory. So we left off at aggravated assault with a vehicular attempted homicide.
Vehicular manslaughter attempted.
With Rick in the car. So, I mean, everything's...
Happily married now.
Yes. So everything's coming to a head. I mean, obviously the wheels are coming off the bus.
Absolutely.
What now?
Did the wheels come off the truck, though?
No.
When you tried? Okay.
No.
What kind of car were you in?
I was in a Volkswagen Beetle.
Oh, man. If somebody going to try to hit me, I hope it's in a Beetle.
Hey, anytime Rick sees one of those cars, he's like,
He sees a Beetle, he gets a flashback.
Yes, he hates them.
PTSD from
Yes,
Volkswagen.
for sure.
All right, so here we are, and you're what situation in life?
So the cops come because like all kinds of businesses and things that this is in the middle of Jonesboro. I'm trying to run them over. So like I get the cops called on me, and I'm drunk as a skunk, and like I had dope on me, and so I'm going to jail. And then I'm sitting in the back of the cop car, and he's like, "Well, ma'am, where's the guy that was assaulting you?" I was like, "No, I was assaulting him. Like I'm trying to hurt him."
I did it.
Right.
And I'm so far gone. I'm like, "Can you just hurry up and get me to the jail? I don't even care. Like I'm ready to get there. I'm tired."
Right. So you get to the jail.
I get to the jail. And
Same cycle. Hey, I'm going to straighten up.
I really didn't even want to straighten up. I'm ready to get
Take
out.
me to jail.
Yeah, at that time I was ready to go to jail, go and get this process because I already knew I could get out.
Right.
So that happened. Got out. So 2.5, almost 3 weeks later, I got arrested again.
Wow.
And then...
Obviously for drugs.
Yes, for drugs. And this all happened in a month and a half span. And then it was like not very much longer. It was in July of 22. Me and Rick were riding his bike, and I had bottles of pills and dope and everything, and we got arrested. And I was
so 3 times in a matter of that.
in a month and a half span. And I'm like, okay. So I got off parole in this time, but
Yeah.
I'm already like fixing to have to get back paroled up because I'm going to go to prison probably. So I told Rick before all this happened, like whenever Rick and I were in our mess, I prayed for us. And I prayed.
So in your mess.
In my mess, because we were tired of fighting and drugging and drinking. And I'm like, there has to be something else better than this. And I prayed for us. And I said, God, I need you to send me people that will love me and help me, that will understand me.
Yeah.
Wow.
And I did not know. And Rick reminded me about it, me praying for us that once we got sober.
Wow.
Yeah.
So you're rock bottom.
And so I get bonded out that last time, and I'm like, I am going to find me a rehab. So
this wasn't even a court order. This is just.
This is like, I
want
can't do this. Obviously, the Lord's trying to help me figure out something else, and so I'm going to go ahead and take the first step. I'm calling, and I'm going to get myself into somewhere.
Yeah.
And so
I think that's essential too. Like when people, even if they just bond out or they're not court ordered, you got to look at it from a different perspective. You deal with prosecutors and judges that's seen you your whole life. and they get tired of seeing you
right.
over and over again. Well, you make the choice not only just to bond out, but you make it. It's not a court-ordered stipulation. You paid the money to get out on bond, and then you make the choice to go to rehab.
Right.
And then the biggest thing I think in that is the test really isn't in rehab, because of the fact that it's easy to be around a bunch of people that are doing right and have no other choice to be right. But once you get out, that's when people start determining your change.
Absolutely.
So you get to rehab. How do you just figure out what rehab you're going to?
Well,
what happens?
So while I was in the Gopi house, there was a house mom there named Angela, which is now married to Wisconsin. I know everybody probably knows him.
Yeah.
Right.
So I really took to her, so I messaged her on Facebook. I'm like, I need you to help me get into somewhere. I don't care where it's at. I really don't want to go to the wings just because I have personal relationships with people there and things like that. And she said, well, Jamie Mann is just started the way. It hasn't opened yet, and I think they're opening in about a week. I'll see if you can go there. Well, I was supposed to go to the way like the day that it opened, and it took me about a week to get there later.
Right.
Because I was high.
You weren't ready.
Yeah, and also I was supposed to get my prescription pills on that Monday.
Let me run out of my stash
and
real
I needed
quick.
it, and I was like, I'm getting my pills before I go. I gotta have them.
Wow.
Yeah.
So you get to the way.
I was drunk, pilled out, had so many suitcases of clothes. It was terrible. And so
I remember going to John 3:16. I had a gentleman, I won't say his name, but when he got there, he had 8 toolboxes he brought with him, about this big. I was like, what are all those for? He's like, man, I just had to back up and get here. I said, what are you going to use those for? He goes, I don't know, but I just thought I needed them. I mean, we're just ready to get there.
Yeah.
Whatever we got to take, we're taking.
And you're not thinking rationally.
No.
Absolutely not.
Toolboxes, whatever needs to be brought.
It's embarrassing.
So you get to the way. Now, after you get to the way, how long have you been at the way for me and you meet?
I think I ended up coming to church. I don't like the first month of the way.
I remember those classes.
Was almost just like a blur.
Yeah.
Especially the first 18 days of it, because I was so wore out. Like I literally was on my deathbed. I was so skinny. I was frail. I was tired.
I remember
hungry.
teaching class, and you just look like death thumbs a ride.
Absolutely.
I mean, you look rough.
I was probably like 97 pounds.
Wow.
Yeah.
I mean, you look just like you were. It was over.
It was. It really was.
And I remember you looking at me like, I don't know about this weirdo.
Oh, absolutely. I had everybody.
Don't worry, I still do that from time to time, day to day.
Yeah.
I don't know, man.
Yeah. So anyway, 18 days. What happens at 18 days?
So I ended up having to go get my appendix out, right? And so before this happened, I'd been telling Rick, I'm going to rehab. You know, I don't know what you're doing, but you better jump on board or else. And so I just one day, me and him got into a fight, and I was like, I'm just going to go ahead and go. Whatever happens, happens. And so I went to the rehab. 18 days later, I had my appendix taken out. While I'm in the hospital, I call Rick, and I'm like, I'm in the hospital. I'm been in rehab. I want to see you, but I am going to go back to rehab. And when he came to see me, he's like, I know that there is a God. He said, because you are a way different person, and I want to do the same thing you are doing.
Yeah.
So I called the Gopi house, got him in the men's house, and I have never been the same since.
Wow.
That's awesome.
So tell me about the way. You're there how many months?
6 months.
Tell me a little bit about the journey through there and then getting out and what happens then.
Okay, so during the time that we were both in rehab, like, we were obedient. We didn't ever try to be sneaky and call each other. We really walked the line and worked on ourselves. So the 6 months, me and Rick barely talked. And I did a lot of just soul searching and really trying to figure out my issues, you know, why I had resentments, and I figured out why, because of my childhood and all the things that I blocked out. So just dealing with those issues was the best part of that for me. And then getting a relationship with God.
I remember us going to Corning for some reason. I remember Rick worked at a place there, And I remember you saying, "Please, Pastor, will you stop by and let me see Ricky
Yeah.
Poo?" I think is what you called
Pookie.
it. Pookie. Yeah,
Yeah.
Pookie. And I was like, yeah, I'll let you see him. And I remember getting out and meeting Rick for the first time.
Yeah.
You know, all of that just seems like it's just crazy how you get here. You know,
Right.
you get here through all of that. But I remember, you know, you being excited about seeing him. And
Absolutely. So it's near the end, and I'm getting us a place, and because Rick is kind of stuck off in Corning, can't do much. I got more resources here in Paragould, so I find us an apartment, and we had nothing, absolutely nothing. And with the help of my church family, lots of people, we end up having somewhere to sit. You know, dishes, cups, all the things that you don't think about that you need. We needed everything.
you had nothing. Literally nothing.
You're right.
Right.
So
So where was all your stuff like that you had before?
in a storage building that was one of my friends was holding, and when I went back to get my stuff, this is so funny. So I went back to get my stuff, and I was so embarrassed that I even had that stuff in there. I'm like, this is garbage. I wouldn't sell this to my worst enemy. Like
It's
I
just
told her,
junk.
it was so hot whenever I went to that store, and I was like, I cannot believe that
Burn
I had
it.
this. Like, why didn't somebody
Tell
me how
You wouldn't
stupid I
listen.
was?
You wouldn't
Like,
listen.
it was
That's
so
funny.
That's
terrible.
wild. All right, we're going to take a quick commercial. Thanks to our sponsors. We'll be right back on our after story.
Leisure Comfort. At Leisure Comfort Heat and Air, we provide friendly heating and air conditioning repairs done right. We repair all major brands and give reliable options to get your system working properly. In the unfortunate event that a new equipment is necessary, we can make the installation seamless and easy. We install all major brands with free estimates and flexible financing options. Upgrading your HVAC system has never been easier. Whether you're looking for HVAC system, repairs, seasonal maintenance, new equipment, or general construction needs, our trained technicians will get you on the best path to enjoying a comfortable home environment. Quality Voices, hiring now for daytime and nighttime shift. They are a faith-based company that works on behalf of political endeavors and nonprofit organizations. You can fill out an application at 5510 Southwest Drive, Suite 4. They have great management, great family atmosphere, and a great environment. Quality Voices, Jonesboro, Arkansas. Welcome to the Big Circle. Oh, I'm sorry. Welcome back. Let me correct my grammar here.
He
Welcome
did that
back to
on
the
purpose. He did that on purpose.
Welcome back to the Big
Okay,
Rectangle.
so you go back to your storage room of junk.
Yeah.
You've got an apartment or a place, and you're filling it up with stuff. You're starting your new life. What does the new life look like?
The new life looks like just digging in a new environment, like making myself available for church, going and being a part of the ladies' lives at the Way, just trying to help them, trying to share my story with them, just so into them, because I know that they come in broken like I was, so I try to give them hope. So
You're sober, Rick's sober. Mm-hmm. Anything happening there that you're like, man, backward looks attractive at all?
No.
Okay.
Absolutely not.
Okay. I remember this, and if you can share this, I remember you thinking at one point, I don't know how long y'all had both been sober, but you're like, man, we just need something to do for the weekend. You've said these things to me
deal
before.
with this all the time.
Yeah, it's just like we don't know what to do for fun because you know
Yep.
what we always did for fun. And I remember saying, well, there's a cool creek up there you can go to. It's close.
Yeah.
And I remember I remember cautioning you and saying, you got to be careful because you get out there away and you don't know how to be away.
Right.
Like, so, and I tell people that because to tell my story, me and Sarah went away on our first away trip, and we're at the beach and everybody's drinking and having a good time. And I'm thinking, man, I can handle it. Well, I couldn't handle it.
Right.
And wheels went off the bus again, right?
Yeah.
So I'm always scared. So tell them the away story.
Well, okay, so it was about a month after we got through with our programs, and so we went to this little place in Mountain View, and first of all, me and Rick were just getting to know each other, the real,
Like the sober
the
use.
sober.
Yeah.
So it was really weird just being alone with them, and
Yeah.
you just felt like you're weird in high school again, like just weird.
I don't know this person.
You're right, like
Right.
stop looking at me, weirdo.
Yeah, right.
So we went to this place and we're getting something to eat, and they're like, well, everything's full but the bar.
Right.
And I'm like, well, we can't sit at the bar.
Right.
And so we waited there, and then they sit us at a table right beside the bar, and like the bottles were sweating. Like,
Yeah.
never.
Oh, I mean, you see it a mile
Yeah,
away.
and
I
I'm
mean,
like- And I'm just looking at Rick, and I'm like, bro, we have to be strong for each other. If either one of us give in at any moment,
We're broken.
we're
again.
broken, and we got to be accountable for each other.
Right.
So we made it through that weekend. On the way back, I called Pastor. I was like, I don't want to sound like a sissy. I said, but that was hard.
that stuff is hard. I mean,
It is.
I can go to Chili's and be sitting over there by the bar, and I have random thoughts like, man, I'm bored.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then you think, why do I think like that? I've worked 3.5 years. It's hard to throw it all away, and that's what I go back to. Even how bored I am maybe in the moment, but I forget about looking at the little things. So when I go back to looking at the little things, they don't seem as attractive.
That's what Rick always says. He says, if you just play the tape all the way through the end,
Yeah.
You're gonna see the ending.
you're going to see the ending, and it ain't going to be good.
No, it never
Yeah.
is. So you're out in life and you're connecting yourself to ladies at the way. You're connecting yourself to church and to purpose things, and you're working. Rick's working. You're acquiring things. What are those things, and how have you done it? And talk a little bit about your journey to the job you have now, and the patience that took.
Okay, well, my first job getting out of rehab was the Goodwill.
Right.
And basically, I just pilfered through clothes. Like,
I remember you calling me saying, I hate
I would always
I used
try
to do
look-
this when I was on drugs. Why not want to do it now?
Yeah, so I always would try to look at the bright side of it, and I always look for clothes like for people that at the church could wear. So like I'm like, oh, these pants look like they fit Pastor. They look like they fit Austin. Like I would just think about people to make it better.
So
for
what
the
she would
day.
do was call me and say, hey, Pastor, I found some really big pants. I think they'll fit you.
No, that's not the case.
Ivy, can we start going to the gym? I remember we made a promise January 17th. And there the journey begins on that.
So anyway, yeah.
So I started off at the Goodwill, and then
How was that experience?
it was a good experience because I think that was just the season of my life. Like also I was helping my sisters at the way. Like 4 of them come to work there, and I think that I was kind of just like the backbone of helping them.
We got to stay strong.
We got to stay strong. We're gonna be clean. We're gonna go out here and kill it. We're gonna work and be productive. And so
And you're also just proving yourself, too, that you
Right.
can do it.
absolutely
No matter what it is. Yeah.
So I mean I just made the best of it and rocked it, and then so Derrick Quality Voices were hiring, and so I started doing that, and I love doing that, but I got tired of it quick.
Right.
So I started
Just
looking,
being on the phone, or
Right.
that just wasn't what you wanted to
and
do.
also I
Right.
worked remote, so and now I was at home
Yeah.
in the office. It just that wasn't for me, but it definitely is a good job to have
Right.
for sure.
Right. And they may still be one of our sponsors if Toodlow's paid his bill. If they haven't, this is a free plug. Go ahead.
Great job now hiring Quality Voices. If not, you just still owe us $100 after this.
So during this time, I'm like looking for jobs, right? So I'm trying to get a job at the hospital, and so I'm really pumped up about it. They call me back. I go take my drug test, and they're like, "Well, we're waiting on your background to come back." Well, my background came back, and it didn't pass.
Right.
So I'm like let down. Like, how am I ever gonna get out of this hole that I'm in? And so I just went up to this temporary service place, and I just laid it all out. And I'm like, look, I need you to help me. This is my background. I'm not gonna lie to you. It's extensive. If you run it, it's gonna be steep.
Yeah.
And she's like, I think I might have the job for you.
Yeah.
And so now I work at Williams Mechanical, and
Don't you love those people that give you that chance, like just to show that not only are you not the person you used to be, but that see something in you that sometimes we don't see in ourselves.
Right. And I think also, like, I just was so heartbroken. Like, I was, like, pouring my heart out. I'm like, look, I am a changed woman, and I just need someone to
Believe.
Give me that
believe
one
in me
chance.
and give me some help, and I will not let you down.
Yeah.
So let's dig back into, you thought before, hey, these people aren't going to accept me. Tell me how your life is of being accepted by the people you thought weren't going to accept you.
It's wonderful. It puts a smile on my face when I think about it. Like, my church family, I love it. I never knew going to church was so fun and rewarding. Like,
Tell me about it.
It's awesome. It really is. Like, if people that were in their mess could just get a little taste of that, and get to see what it's like on the other side, they would definitely change. It's just, it's so cool getting to see people's lives change and breakthroughs happening, and then also just new relationships and people that actually genuinely love you and want the best for you, and you know that there's nothing, no ill motive or anything behind it. It's like, it's the real deal.
There was a portion of my, I guess, religious history that I look back and I felt like there was times that we were almost taught to just be judgmental. We were taught, I remember looking at people and thinking to myself, they talk about them being saved, but they're like unhappy, like genuinely unhappy. And I remember thinking, man, this can't be what the picture looks like. And whenever salvation started and, we started putting effort into, trying to foster the correct culture, not to say that salvation is the only culture. There's other things out there, but it's like the two things that mattered is you want people to feel the Spirit and you want people to feel loved.
Absolutely.
Like accepted, like no judgment, man. And that's one of the things that I pride myself on.
Absolutely.
On doing, And I remember, this is so funny. I remember one day we were talking as me and Sarah were trying to help you and Rick do some things, with a car or whatever we were doing. I don't remember what all was going on. Yeah, you've been through 4 cars. God finally blessed you with a great car. Yeah. We're going through these things, trying to figure all this out, trying to find the cheap car that we can. And I remember, I said, I'm so proud of Rick, Mallory, and I said something about Rick had been to prison like 10 times. I'll never forget this. Sarah was like, Rick's been to prison? The funny part of that is not, he's been to prison, I need to be cautious of him. She just seen the new Rick.
Yeah.
The Rick that looked like prison wasn't something he was ever even in.
Yeah.
Right? And that's beautiful. I love that, And just like when you were talking on the last episode about when you had just got out of prison and all that and the time and how short it was from when you were at the way, I would have never known that.
Yeah.
Because that's just not the person I see today.
Right.
So part of your getting to where you are is just being patient as well.
Right.
Because you went through 4 cars.
I did, and I'm still living in a little apartment.
Right.
My next goal is to buy a house. Rick just got him a truck.
A pretty truck, by the way.
A pretty truck.
Boy, them
with
wheels
the nice
and tires
Yeah.
look sharp.
He's talking about them wheels and tires looking sharp. Sounds like a great time for a commercial. Maybe a Heron commercial will come right behind this.
Sponsored by Heron Tire Service. Heron Tire, best from the east to the west, serving Paragould and all of northeast Arkansas for over 56 years. Tire shops have come and gone. Heron Tire has remained. We keep getting bigger and better. Got a flat? You don't have time for that. We'll get it patched up and put you back on the road. Stuck on the farm? No time to play? Call us. We're on the way. If you need to get the crops planted and you're feeling stressed, call Heron Tire. We're simply the best. New tires? We got you. Used tires? We got you. Rims, lift kits, oil change? You guessed it. We got it. So come see us at either of our Paragould locations at 700 East Kings Highway or 300 Airport Road. Heron Tire Service, 870-239-8466 or 870-240-0090. Yes, best from the east to the west. J&M Trailer Sales and Service. J&M Trailer Sales and Service. Huge selection of trailers, trailer repair, and prices so low, it's stupid. Also, if you don't want to commit to buying a trailer or a piece of equipment, They rent it out as well. Trailers, car haulers, skid steer, excavators. J&M Trailer Sales, located at 2510 South 2nd Avenue, Paragould, Arkansas. Introducing the Sunroom. The house can get crowded, and if you need somewhere for family or friends to stay during the holidays, the Sunroom is a pet-friendly rental in Paragould, Arkansas, with a top-rated Airbnb Superhost rating. Beautiful scenery overlooking a nice pond, peaceful, relaxing, and much better than a hotel. Welcome back.
Oh, we finally got it.
Back to the big circle.
Yes, welcome back to the big circle. So, part of what we were talking about before break is you just being patient. You said this way, hey, I'm still living in an apartment, but you didn't say that with your head down. Because it's part of you doing what you need to do to get where you need to be. And I think too many times the after story, we're always looking for, and I don't mean this bad, but we're always looking for that guy that, maybe owns a business or a person that's doing something quote unquote spectacular. But the truth is if we're all doing purpose stuff, we're living clean, we're making a better community, we're all doing big things.
Absolutely.
Right.
Whether you're flying a plane, owning a business, living in an apartment,
Yep.
doesn't matter.
And this is just the season that I'm in. I already know that I'm going to be blessed abundantly. I am already. So
Yeah, absolutely.
happy.
If we could keep that attitude with everything that we do, and I'm talking about myself because that was a big inspiration for me, you just saying that. When I, just come up on certain struggles in my life, if I can go back and remember those little things and how blessed that we truly are, man,
Absolutely.
that's where it's at.
Man, I'm going to tell you, there's a power of gratefulness. And, man, to all of our listeners, I don't care if you're sleeping on a couch or, on a, what do you call them little things that go up and
Ottoman.
down? No,
Wait.
not an
Was
ottoman.
an ottoman? Sorry.
One of them
futons.
One of them bougie beds that cost about $20,000. What are they? Them Sleep Masters or Sleep Number? Yeah. So what? It took a while to get that out. So whether you're sleeping,
What'd they say? Sorry, I got to say this. Somebody said the other day they were talking about somebody. I forgot what it was. And they said, I wonder how they sleep at night. Probably on a sleep number.
yeah, that's right.
That's funny.
Yeah, that is true. So whether you're on a couch or a sleep number, you live in an apartment or the penthouse, the truth is, man, if you're grateful for what you have, man, I really think that really great things happen
Absolutely.
to grateful people.
That's right.
And you don't have to be quote unquote a Christian to be grateful, because I've seen a lot of ungrateful Christians.
Right.
But the truth is, gratefulness is something that you have to foster from inside to realize. You got to be thankful for what you have.
Absolutely.
I remember my mother used to, I'd be mad, I don't want a bologna sandwich, and she was like, "Well, there's some people in another country who love bologna." I'm like, "Well, give it to them."
How does that not surprise me that you would say something like that?
Looking at it now, I'm like, man, what a crazy thought process, to have. But just having gratefulness for where you are, what you're doing.
Yep.
Talk a little bit about, we've talked about the past trauma and the things that happened to you. How is your mental health and all of that? Do you struggle with that? Is that just a chapter and we're going to move on to whatever happens next?
Honestly, the Lord has really helped me with that. I stay prayed up, and I know it's just because I go to church and I surround myself around the right people. Whenever I feel like that I can't get through something, I use my resources. I call, I ask for help, I make myself vulnerable. Even if I feel like, if I battle myself to even, because I'll start thinking, well, do I need to call? Do I need to ask this? I'm stupid. So when I start feeling like that, I know that's when I need to make that call.
So here's the cool thing. I'm so glad you said this, because I wanted you to say that. Mallory is one of the best people that we have in utilizing her resources. She knows when to make the phone call. A lot of times when she calls me, she already knows the answer.
Yeah.
But she needs somebody to say, stop being goofy.
Yep.
Do what you know to do.
Do what's right.
It'll work out.
That
right?
sounds familiar.
Yeah. And she's so good about accepting that and hanging up, and moving on and using that. So I said that to say this. You're never going to get where you need to be in gratefulness, purpose-filled lives, or anything like that. Purple.
Purple.
You're never going to get
Yeah,
where
never
you
gonna
need
be
to be
purple.
in life without having some people that you can make a phone call to.
Right.
Yeah.
Man, you got to have a few 911s.
For sure.
Then you make a phone call. You know, sometimes I go through my little pity party.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I work 7 days a week, never get a day. You know, I'll go through my little pity party. You got to call somebody and go through your pity party.
Absolutely.
They say, suck it up, buttercup, get back to work, you know?
I need it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
'Cause in your mind, I know my mind,
Yeah.
like your mind will play tricks on you, like, oh, you're not important, you know, they're going to think you're stupid, this is
Yeah.
not the way it's, you know, these people don't care, you're just bothering them.
Yeah.
You got to really stop your mind from thinking that,
Yeah.
and do what's right and make yourself available and use the resources that were given to you, that you learned that the whole time that you're in rehab.
Yep.
And you are like, you know, get a sponsor, do this,
Yeah.
do that. You got to actually do that. You can't just listen to it.
Yeah,
you can't
we're-
just say this is what's going to, you know.
We are so big at almost imploding. I think everybody does that. I'll remember one day, I'll never forget this day. You called me, and I don't remember what I was going through that day, but, you know, I've never been the type of person that I'm going to sit back and just act like I'm super subhuman. You know, if I'm going through something and you say, what's going on, I ain't going to lie to you. I'm just going, hey, this is what's going on. I don't remember what was going on that day. But you said, hey, well, let me pray for you. And you prayed this prayer, and, you know, looking back now, I hear it. But, you know, you're stumbling and stuttering through it and trying to figure out what to say. And, you know, you hang up the phone, and I feel so much better. I'm like, man, that was so beautiful that she was brave enough to pray that prayer. Yeah. And then some hours later, I believe it was, I was texting you to tell you, hey, thank you for that prayer. That really helped.
Yep.
At the same time, you're on the other end debating, calling me, saying, I'm sorry for saying that bad prayer. Like,
yeah,
that's
like
possible.
I had a big long message, like, I'm so sorry that I
Yeah.
didn't pray for you the right way. Like, I'm going to work on that. And
Yeah.
So for all of our listeners, you're not the only one that goes through that.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
So quit acting like it's only you.
And how do
We're
you
all-
pray the wrong way, right?
Yeah.
I mean, it's crazy.
right.
So after is literally a purpose-filled life, and here's the great thing. We heard the before, we heard the after, but somewhere down the road, we're going to record an after.
Okay.
You're going to
Yeah.
own a home.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I
that's
was
gonna
about
be
to get
good.
into that. So before we top off on that, so when we record that after, I was going to actually ask you this question: where do you see Mallory in 10 years from now? So I think to myself, man, if God spoke the whole world into existence, what can we do with our lips if we begin speaking these things? So
Right.
where's Mallory going to be at in 10 years?
Well, I definitely want to still be in church. I want to be helping women, possibly the way to men's
What's your
ministry.
dreams? What's your dreams?
Way to, like another way
Yeah.
house.
Another way too,
Yeah.
you know, like men's ministry.
Yeah.
Just
Yeah,
Purpose-filled, helping
Yeah.
people.
yeah.
absolutely,
What a good vision. And you're going to be a homeowner.
absolutely.
That's
That's
right.
the next on my list.
Speak that out.
That's
gonna,
right.
I put it on the prayer list at 24-hour prayer. It's going to happen already.
Oh, that's awesome. Well, we thank you so much for being with us.
Yes.
You've been a
Thank you,
wonderful
guys.
guest.
Yes.
We're thankful for that after story. We're thankful Rick didn't die at the hands of a Volkswagen
Right.
Beetle, and we are blessed beyond measure. And we hope our listeners have enjoyed this series. We are going to continue to do this. We got some more guests lined up. And we're just going to continue down this road. We want people to see that you're better after whatever after looks like to you. It's a heck of a lot better than before.
Ain't that the
Close
truth?
us out, Ivy.
All right, guys, make sure to give us a thumbs up. We're on YouTube, Apple, Spotify, all the good platforms. We're on them. Make sure to give us a thumbs up. Share it if you got something good out of it. Somebody might need to hear something that was said today, especially on awesome stories like before and after. And after, we're really excited about all that's to come. Thumbs up, 5-star review, 4 stars, forget them.
Throw them in the garbage. I'm
Throw 'em
Derrick
in.
Followell.
I'm Ivy Heron Jr.
Mallory Nelson.
Y'all have a great day.